Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Belkisa Aliu, and if you are new here, you're welcome, and if you have been part of the family, you're highly welcome again. Thank you for always clicking to watch my videos, and welcome back to El Citra Essentials. And in today's video, as I promised earlier in my intro video, that I'm going to be doing some comparison between USA and Canada. Yay! Today is the day, and we're gonna get into the video in a short while. And without further ado, let's get into this video. Let me compare you based on my experience. I have lived in the US for 8 years, and I have lived in Canada for 3 years now. So I think I have enough experiences that I can at least tell you. Disclaimer, this is all my experience, and I have done a little bit of research on some things, but these are 95% my experience, what I have experienced in both countries. Okay guys, so the first thing we are going to be talking about is education. Where should you go for schooling, either Canada or the US? I have studied in the United States for both my undergrad and my master's degree, and I have been studying since 2010 until 2017. Yes, 7 years straight, because I went to a 2-year college and I did mostly like my foundation classes, and then I went to a 4-year college where I had my bachelor's degree, BSc of Science in accounting, and then I went to another 2-year university for my master's where I had master's in information systems. Okay, if you see me looking down, I'm just looking at my notes here because I needed to write some stuff so I won't forget what I won't have anything out of the list. So I am going to be talking about admission. I have not studied in Canada, but we have done admission process for one of my husband's niece that is studying here in University of York. It's called York University, and is here in Ontario, is in North York. Yes, so both admission for US and Canada are similar when it comes to requirements of their in Canada is IELTS, and in the United States is TOEFL exams. And the requirement of the transcript, almost everything is similar, I would say. And yeah, it's the same, so there is not much differences. And then scholarships, I have never gotten any scholarship when I studied in the United States. I came with my own country's scholarship, so I did not get any scholarship in the United States. Here in Canada, in some provinces like Montreal, like Saskatchewan, like Nova Scotia, like Manitoba, like I think it depends on the provinces, but there are a lot of universities out there that offers at least 50% scholarship, and some even offer for like graduate degree, that is master's degree, or PhD degree. They also offer like full scholarship. So you have to do your research based on that, because I have not gone to school in Canada. Only I did some certifications here, but not like a whole degree in Canada. I just have people that are going to school that I knew that are part of the family. So tuition fee are similar. Just in the United States it may be a little bit more expensive, but when you compare the conversion of dollar, is almost close to the same, but it's a lot more expensive in the United States than here, based on my experience, based on the school that I went to and the school my niece is going here. So for my undergrad, at least a semester, the tuition fee is about maybe $4,000 to $5,000, and for my bachelor's degree I was paying about $8,000 in the United States, and what she's paying here as bachelor's degree full-time student, she's paying about $7,000. And then for my master's degree I was paying about between $9,000 to $11,000 depending on the classes. And here I wouldn't say because she has never started her masters and I don't know how much masters cost here, but I think it's gonna be almost similar. Okay, other benefit of being a student in the countries is that in United States, as a student, you cannot have a social security number unless you got a job in the school or you are in your second or third year of school. Then they will give you an OPT option, which you can work outside the school, but only 20 hours a week. So you get a social security number, which, because with the social security number, you will be able to apply and do a lot of things in both countries. Likewise, in Canada, you will have your social security number as soon as you become a student, which will give you a permission to work either in school or outside of the school, but it's the same 20 hours a week. It is the same. The only difference is in Canada, you get to have your social immediately, while in the United States, I waited until my third year to get a social security number to be able to work, because you have to take certain number of classes before you are able to work outside of school. But as soon as you got to the school in the United States, you can still work in school and you can get your social security number. But it's so competitive to have the job in school because so many students are applying. So your best bet of getting a job is outside of school. But so that will require you that longer time for you to be able to work outside of school. While in Canada, you'll be able to work immediately. My niece got her work permit immediately when she comes to Canada. Like, they gave her the work permit right in the airport. And while I was in the United States going to school, I waited until, oh, actually you cannot even get a work permit until you graduated your bachelor's. Then you have 1 year to work. 1 year to work before you start your master's or before you leave the country. Yes. So the second item on the list is going to be migrating. Would you want to migrate to the United States or would you want to migrate to Canada? So for migrating, there are different ways you can migrate to a country. For the United States, I don't see any options for now for migration due to a lot of immigration changes, especially during the Trump season. It was so difficult and so hard for immigrants. So for all their programs for migrating were almost cancelled. The only program they have after you finish schooling that you'll be able to become permanent resident was H-1 visa. That is work. If you get a job after school and you are able to secure a good job with the company and the company is willing to apply for you to become a permanent resident, which will lead to citizenship. But H-1 visa, it's really hard and high in competition because you have to either have a really higher and competitive bachelor's degree or master's degree for a company to retain you and pay for you to give you H-1 visa, which you have to stay there and work for at least 4 to 5 years before they are able to apply for you. It is a long process. Mostly the profession they take is medical doctors, engineers, professions like that, maybe IT as well, but all other professions, unless you are really lucky. Okay, enough about the US. Let's talk about Canada and how you can migrate to Canada. There are various ways you can migrate to Canada, and number one is by express entry. So Canada needs skillful people. If you have bachelor's or you have master's degree, you will be able to apply for your express entry. It doesn't matter what your level of education is, but what matters is at least you should have a bachelor's, or if you are a nurse, you have like a nursing degree or nursing education, so you can apply for express entry. There are different categories when it comes to express entry, and the level of what they are looking for is your education, your age, your work experience, your I mentioned age, your work experience, your family size, because you have to show income to be able to take care of your family. If you have a family member here in Canada, it also helps for your application because it gives you points. And also the most important in all this application is to be able to pass your IELTS test. That is an English compass test for you to prove that you can speak English fluently. You'll be able to write, you'll be able to read, and you'll be able to communicate. So also for migrating to Canada, when you come to school in Canada, then you'll be able to stay in Canada, work legally in Canada for certain hours of work, then you'll be eligible to apply for your permanent residency. That is the same process as doing the express entry, but this one you are inside the country, you apply and you become permanent resident. Also, you can come as international work programs. There are different international work programs. You just need to do your research online and find out which one you are eligible for. Sometimes different provinces post about what kind of program or what kind of people they are looking for. In some provinces they will be looking for engineers, some provinces may be looking for nurses, some provinces will be looking for bakers, some provinces will be looking for just labor, hard work, general work. So it all depends. You have to do your research about what kind of international programs for work permits is Canada accepting at the time of your application. Also, you can come to Canada as a refugee. That is if you have a valid case from your country, or you are running away from war or something. Is another way for you to migrate and become a permanent resident and also lead to citizenship. And with the migration, you will get a lot of benefits by staying in Canada. There is social assistance, there is work permit for you when you come to Canada. I remember when we came to Canada with my husband, I told you that my first work permit in the United States was after my bachelor's degree. Actually, I waited until after my master's to get my work permit. So I went to United States in 2010, and my first work permit was in 2017. That was only able to get to work outside the campus for the 20 hours a week, but my official work permit was in 2007. That is 7 years later. And migrating to Canada, when I came to Canada, I got my work permit in less than 3 months. That is me as a spouse, because I came as a spouse under my husband. I still got my work permit 3 months after, compared to 7 years. Can you see the difference? Number 3 item on the list, no, having a child in either one of the countries, because I have both had children in both of the countries. I had my first daughter in the USA, and I have my second daughter in Canada. So the benefit of having a child in both states is for the maternity leave. Actually, when I had my first daughter, I was just a student. I wasn't working in the United States, so there was no any maternity leave for me. The same with my husband, we were both students, so there was no maternity leave. But for the normal people, if you migrate there or if you are staying there, the maternity leave you got is 12 weeks unpaid. 12 weeks unpaid. That is what I knew, and that is because I had to research about this. I have known people that were citizens there. I have heard about it, but I had to do a bit of research to make sure. But in Canada, a mother can get up to 15 months of maternity leave. That is until your baby is 1.5 years old, and you will be able to get about 75% of your income paid within those months. And for the man, for his paternity leave, a man or a dad can get up to 9 months. That is 9 months straight. So you can either take your paternity leave while your wife is pregnant until she had the baby, so you can cross out the 9 months span, or you can wait until she had the baby and you guys can take time off and just raise your child, and he also get the same 75% income back. The reason why Canada does this is because they value so much of family time. The second one is because while you are working, there is something they call EI, insurance benefits. I think is employment insurance benefits. So that insurance employment benefits, you are paying it a little bit by little in your salary, so that will cover that expense. So insurance benefit will cover those expenses, those payments of your salary through your employer, as long as you work I think 6 months to 1 year before having the baby as a mother or as the dad. Then you'll be eligible for your maternity or fertility leave income. So another thing about having a child in both countries is, while I was in the US, I had a student insurance which paid for my delivery, but they only pay about 80% of the delivery. And because I had my baby in a private hospital, so we paid about $4,000, and we paid for the labs. That is anything blood lab tests, ultrasound, screening, or anything. We paid for it. The insurance doesn't cover it, and the insurance paid about $8,000, I believe. Yeah, because I think the delivery cost us about $12,000 plus the labs. While having the baby in Canada, when I had my baby here in Canada, I paid $0. I did not pay a penny. So I'm not saying this for all people, but as long as you have the OHIP, you have your medical card, if you are like a permanent resident, or you are just if you're a legal resident in Canada, you have your medical card. So when you have your medical card, you don't need to pay a penny in the hospital. That is how amazing Canada is. I think the only thing that I paid for was, there was one lab. I don't even remember what lab it is, but it was after I had the baby, then I got it. It was a different hospital. I think it was a private hospital I went to do that lab, and it costs about $26. They sent me the bill, and my husband was like, give it to me, I will gladly pay for it, because we haven't paid a penny to have this baby in this country. So that is how amazing Canada's system is. Are you guys getting me? Because I'm just telling you, like, I spent it. The payment was, when my sister came to have her baby in the United States, she paid $16,000. $16,000 cash to have her baby. Maybe because of insurance or being a student or something, it costs us about $12,000. But my sister that came as a visitor to just have a baby, she paid $16,000. Okay, when you have a baby in the US, let's look. And one thing is that if you or your partner lost their jobs, then you can apply for food stamp. So my husband was working, so there was one time that he was on a contract job, and then the contract ended. So just within the month before he got another job, we applied for the food stamp, and they gave her about, I think, $400 to buy food. And that is it comes in a card. The money comes in a card. You cannot withdraw cash with it. You can only go and buy food items only. While in Canada, if you have a child, you will be receiving child tax every month, and this child tax are pure money, cash money, right directly into your bank account, and you can withdraw it as cash. You can spend it no matter how you want. You can do whatever you want with that amount of money. So how much is child tax? Depending on the income of both family. If the husband and wife are working and you reach a certain income level, you may not be able to receive a penny. And if you are in a certain category, that is if you are all the way to the peak, like you are making about 100+ thousands, something like that, you won't be able to get the benefit. But if you are making less than that, or maybe just the husband is working, he's making about 80,000 or 60 or 70,000, and the wife is not working, then the child still qualifies for the child tax. And this child tax ranges from amount to amount depending on the family income. As I mentioned, I will give my family as example. Ramla is American citizen, but despite she's American citizen coming to Canada, she still received child tax. And so for both my children, every month they are receiving about 1,200, 1,300 for both of them. So depending on our income in that year. So this is just automatic money that comes into your account. During COVID-19, the government has come up with different kind of programs, especially for family with children. There was a time that they just gave out for $400 just for every kid, so we received $800 for the two of them. There will be a time that they will just send $200 check to the children. This is every child in Canada. So imagine what Canada is doing, thinking about all the children. They will just send you a check and they will be like, just buy anything the children want, their accessories, their school supplies, or just their nutritional needs, just like that. So it's like I cannot even complain. I have 2 children and I've been receiving that amount. Imagine the person that has 5, 6, 7, 8 children. There is a lot of people here that I knew that both parents were not working because they rely on this amount. They rely on this money to come into account and they spend it just as they want. And while in the US, the only money you receive from taxes is the tax return you apply. It comes yearly. It's every year. When you apply for your taxes, then you get some money. Sometimes in a year while we were in the United States, we get about maybe $2,000 to $3,000 just for the child, and then the remaining income for us. Maybe we were able to come out with $5,000 to $6,000, $7,000. But in Canada, it's every single month we receive that amount just for the children. And this is something that you can do like a life saving for the children. You can save this amount of money. I wanted to speak about security in both countries, but I don't even want to go deep into this because there is no much research on this topic for me, and I don't want to give you information that I am not strongly informed about. So what I will tell you is that in the United States, you can walk into the Walmart. If you know what Walmart, if you don't know what Walmart is just a grocery departmental grocery store. Like you go and buy food or electronics or anything, and you can walk into Walmart and go to the gun department and buy a gun. That is how easy it is for someone to possess a gun. While in Canada, I have never seen a gun shop that you can just walk into and buy a gun. So there is no much guns going around, and they have so much restriction of owning a gun. Like you have to register, you have to be licensed to hold it. There is so much requirement. So, and I think in all both countries, depending on the state you are in, depending on the area you are living in, every country, if you are living in a ghetto area, you are more highly to see crime than the other, that if you are living off the ghetto area. And if you are living in more like a commercial or residential, also that matters. Number 5, I'm going to be talking about starting a business. So starting a business while I was just a student or an immigrant in the United States, talking about registering a business or anything, I have never even thought about it because I know it's going to be really, really complicated for me as I was just there as immigrant. But not even immigrant, on international student visa. Likewise, in Canada, as an immigrant, you have so much resources. There are so many free programs that you will attend to learn about business and how you can start your business, how you can go about getting financing, how you can also have access to local markets and stuff like that. So the number 6 item I want to speak on this list is living costs. So living costs, I had to do a little bit of research, even though I had my own experience, but I'm going to be showing you this sheet that I captured online. because the comparison when it comes to living in Toronto and so it's the same or similar to living in New York in the United States. So this is the comparison they did, and based on the comparison, it looks like in New York is more expensive than living here in Toronto. But based on where I have been, based on the state that I have been in the US and where I'm living right here in Canada, I could say that United States is way cheaper than here, because I could compare about based on my own experience. Is going to be, I have lived in Kansas, and I have lived in Missouri, and I have lived in Atlanta. So the most expensive place I have lived in Kansas City was it's about $1,400 a month, which was a really big house. Like when we got married, we had a baby and stuff like that, we have family coming over. But when I was living in Atlanta, I lived in a townhome that is 3 bedrooms, a story house, and it's costing us about $1,000 every month. Compared to living in Canada, in Toronto here with Atlanta, is twice the price. So we're paying about $2,000 in 2 bedrooms and then $1,000 in 3 bedrooms. So if you compare the both amount, is a lot, because here in Canada now that I have lived for 3 years, so let's do the math together. So for 12 months, paying $2,000 every month, that is a total of $24,000 a year. So living for 3 years now, I have paid about $72,000. So I would say Toronto is expensive because it's Toronto. If you go a little bit out of the city, maybe 1 hour, 2 hours away, you're going to get rent to be cheaper. And when it comes to food items and other things, I think I would just compare to say they are very similar or the same. So the cost of food items here in the US, I would just say is a lot similar, that it's not too expensive here or too cheap like in the US also. So generally, what do you think? What is your take out in this video? There are more benefits as an immigrant, as a student, because you get a work permit, you get to work despite you're going to school. While in the US, you have to wait 13 years before you'll be able to get your work permit to work. And as mom, as parents, the benefit for the children, I think Canada has gone higher on that regard, as well as if you're coming as students, as well as if you are migrating here. There are different channels, different ways, different programs for you to migrate to Canada compared to migrating to the United States. I think United States is not even looking for people anymore to migrate to their country because it's bigger when it comes to population. Canada may be bigger in terms of size and land, but USA is bigger when it comes to population, because Canada is nowhere close to USA when it comes to population. So that's why, to say another advantage of the USA is if you have like a business, let's say you have like a business, so you have like a broader, bigger market in the United States because there are more people there compared to in Canada. So with all this being said, I would say I'm still rooting for Canada. I still feel and I still believe that Canada has so many benefits, especially for the new immigrants, for people that wants to come in and make here their homes. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you like it, you enjoy this, the little bit that I'm able to share with you. And if you have any further questions, let me know in the comment section, or tell me if you live in the US or if you live in the Canada, if there is anything that I left behind that you knew or you have experienced, or tell me if you live in the US if there is something or a better option now in the system that I didn't know about, because I haven't been there for 3 years now, obviously. So let me know in the comment section, and thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next video. Thank you.